JDX, Justin D. Xavier. And the D stands for Drinkin, because you are watching Drinkin with Mo.
All right, everybody, welcome to Drinkin' Mo's. Your host, Big Mo here. YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Turn on the notifications because I got a lot of content coming you're not going to want to miss. We're on pretty much most podcast platforms you can find. Leave a rating, all that good stuff. Today, I'm pretty excited to have with me JDX. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. So I got to say, that the D in Justin D. Xavier today stands for Drinkin, because you better not drink anywhere else other than at Mo's.
Hell yes.
For having me, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, honored to have you. I've heard lots of good things from clear back. I know you've been involved with the Black Wrestlers Matter. I'm good friends with John West there.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to John West, man. It's pioneer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm wanting to get him on the show here soon, so we'll see if that happens. Looks like accident just got cleared, so I'm going to move over there. Anyways, first thing I usually like to lead off with each of my guests is what got you started as a fan, and then what made you decide to make the jump and be an active wrestler?
So as far as what made me a fan was probably my brother watching like the Attitude Era, like WCW and the Monday Night Wars against like WWF and stuff. Him practicing moves and stuff with me all the time, like DDT and me on a book bag full of Legos or some crap like that. Are we allowed to curse on here before we get to?
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. No, man, me being a Navy veteran, there's the reason they came up with cussing like a sailor, talking like a sailor. I'm like the very definition of that.
Got you. For sure. But yeah, him DDT and me, all types of shit and trying all different types of maneuvers on me. Didn't necessarily make me a fan, but I was kind of like forced to watch it. You know how you like kind of try to be like Big Bro or whatever, So I think I was around 5. And then I decided to like pick it up on my own, like at the age of 8. I think one of my first episodes was like Big Show versus Brock Lesnar when they broke the ring.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then another episode I remember, and I was just hooked from then on. It was like I believe December 12th of like 2003. It was like Rey Mysterio versus Brock Lesnar. It was like Rey Mysterio's birthday. And he was wrestling Brock for the championship, and I was just like, rooting for the underdog and Ray. And Brock was a big ass bully, so I was hooked.
Was that the one where I forget if it was Big Show or Lesnar that basically had Ray on a stretcher, and they picked up the stretcher and just whacked it against the ring post?
Yeah, you know what? I think the Brock versus Ray might have been at that point. I'm not sure.
I'm wanting to say I knew it was one of the two, but I do remember that match, and that both guys can pull off some crazy stuff. I know for me, what hooked me was like the over the top guys, like going back to the Legion of Doom, and those guys still my favorites. I wish I would have got to meet at least one of them, but never got the pleasure of doing that.
Yeah. Oh, what a rush.
Yeah, man. I did get to see him live once, but I didn't actually get to meet him. But that same show that I got to see them at, and this was a little ways back when Owen Hart beat Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental title.
Okay. Was it like 98 or something, 97?
It was around there, I'm wanting to say, but I was in the crowd at that show.
Gotcha. Was it in Nebraska?
Yep, it was in Omaha.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. What? I'm also curious. I like to find out everybody that I have on what training was like for them, because I think a lot of people tend to underestimate how physically taxing the training for pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, training is really at times it can be difficult. I remember I was thinking earlier, like I had like a long weekend over the weekend, so like that's actually why I'm at a spa right now. I'm trying to relax, get some recovery in.
Yeah.
So I was thinking earlier to myself, like I remember asking very early on, like I was training by Mr. Kennedy, and I remember asking him like, is it bad for you to like constantly pop pain pills? Because I was like in pain. You know what I mean? Like it takes a while for your body to build up a callus to be used to taking bumps and shit, and the squats and yeah, just the rigorous beating of the body, all the bumps and shit, learning the different bumps and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I remember. And this wasn't even like full blown training, but there was, but I did they had a pro wrestling boot camp before this one show. And I'm like, it just so happened to be at this convention center that was attached to the same hotel that I was put in the night before boot camp. And I'm like, holy shit, I haven't been in there since. I gotta go.
Yeah.
So I went, and I was walking funny for about a week after that.
Yeah, no, it's it can be challenging. Some people pick it up quicker than others. I know me, I didn't learn how to bump properly for about 2 months in. So yeah, I was kind of bumping kind of weird, and I couldn't even tell you what I was doing wrong, but I know it was wrong because when I finally figured it out, it was like I feel 10 times fucking better.
Yeah, like some of the shows we kind of talked a little bit about the whole Black Wrestlers Matter, which I love the concept of the show. I mean, there's so much great Black talent out there that isn't really getting showcased. So the fact that John West there had the idea and found a way to get it done, I'm a fan. I regret that I haven't been able to physically be at one of them yet, but hopefully one of these days, now that things are getting
Chicago, dude. What is it? September 2nd, I believe it is. They're having another one, September 2nd.
Where did you say that one was?
It's going to be at Logan Square Auditorium in Chicago.
I'll have to look into that. But one thing that might keep me away from it, I'll tell you about off camera. But
okay.
Anyways,
for sure.
Another well, let's talk a little bit about the Black Wrestlers Matter. What are some of your memories from those shows? Because I've heard, and I mean, I've seen some of the footage. Great shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've had 3 of them thus far. All 3 of them have been very special. The first one, I got to main event against ACH, and that was, still to this day, I probably never trained harder for a match in my life. Yeah. And it was coming off the pandemic. That was my first match after taking like 5 months off. In 2020, I went like 5 months without having a match. And so like you throw me in a situation where it's like, fuck, I gotta wrestle Albert. Like, you know what I mean? And he was not too far off of his like run as Jordan Miles in WWE. So like I'm just like, fuck, dude, like ACH has always been in shape, but like he got in superb shape, like wow, down at NXT. So I was just like, man, I don't want to be fucking embarrassed. Like I gotta look like I belong in the ring with this man. So I got in really great shape, probably the best shape I've ever been in my life for that match. And it was magical. It was a great match. The whole auditorium, it was like a sanctuary. That was really cool. I remember when we first got there, like John had shirts for everybody, which was fucking phenomenal. Shout out to Chris Mannon. He was taking photos of everybody. Yeah, shout out to those two and everybody that played a part into that. Like we took a huge picture, like with all of the talent.
Yeah, I remember.
Camera crew, all of that. Like, yeah, it was really touching, man. That was my first time being a part of a locker room like that, like where I just felt like I could speak freely. Like I'm a chameleon, I can blend into any type of locker room. But like there, it was just like like I can just relax, like you know what I mean. Yeah, you're around kinfolk almost. It's like kind of like if you're around a bunch of like people in the Navy, you know what I mean?
No, I got you there.
Like you can just speak your language or whatever the case.
Oh yeah.
So that was the first one. The second one, I was fortunate enough to main event the second one as well against the frontman Josh C for the Black Wrestlers Matter Championship, which I should have around my waist. That story is not finished. I haven't forgotten, that I should be the rightful champion because I did make Josh C tap out to the Chicago draft. But unfortunately, the referee was knocked out, so it's whatever. But yeah, so me and him main evented that one. I think we went for about 30 minutes. That was magical. And then the third one just happened recently in St. Louis back in February. Shout out to Mike Outlaw. Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to Mike Outlaw for putting that one on. We were in St. Louis, and I had the opportunity to wrestle Freddie Ahai in the opening match. So that was cool. He took me to school that day, Yeah. So.
Speaking of Mike Outlaw, I am actually going to be meeting him in St. Louis here a week from Saturday.
Gotcha.
My show got invited out to Warrior Wrestling.
Hell yeah.
So I am so excited, man.
Yeah, St. Louis is throwing Warrior Wrestling, huh? They're holding
Warrior. Yep. They got, yeah. I think, was the two. They got Athena defending her title for the first time. Mm-hmm. They got Will Ospreay versus Eddie Edwards. And one that I'm particularly excited about, Jeff Cobb versus Jonah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. That'd be dope.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. I'm like, literally countdown is going on right now. And, like I said, getting to meet Mike Outlaw there. I've heard plenty of great about that show. Another show that happened relatively recently that I had kind of wanted to talk to you about is that last Journey Pro show where the lights infamously went out.
Yeah, they did, man. It's straight out of a movie scene. You can't make that shit up. We had a long tournament over the course of 2 days. I had 3 matches. I made it up until the semifinals against Jeremy Wyatt. I was really proud of those 3 matches. I got better doing those matches. My first opponent was like Luke Langley. And then I got to wrestle Moonshine Mantell. And then like I just stated, I was able to wrestle Jeremy Wyatt for a 3rd time. And unfortunately, I came up short in that matchup in the semifinals. And then the finals came down to Jeremy Wyatt and then Christian Rose. And literally as their music was about to hit, I don't know who was supposed to come out first. Maybe Christian Rose, because he ended up out first once the lights were out. I'm not sure. But as literally as their music was getting ready to like hit, the lights hit and it went off because there was a thunderstorm outside.
There was a pretty nasty storm, I remember.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so, the Journey Pro fans being the great fans that they are, and this is night 2. This took
night 2. Okay.
2 nights. Yeah, man. So they had seen a lot of fucking wrestling by this point, right? Talking about 15-minute matches, 10-minute matches, 8-minute matches, just a bevy of different matches they've seen, but they kept their energy. They energized that place literally and figuratively by lighting up the whole venue And that was our first night in there. Agnes, I believe, is the venue, is what it's called. And they just lit it up, man, with their cell phone lights and shit. Honestly, they made it brighter than what it was when the lights were actually on.
I was gonna say, you wouldn't even, because I've seen the footage of that.
Yeah,
it's impressive. Like, you definitely, if you wouldn't have known the lights were out, you wouldn't know that.
Right.
Judging from how bright it was with everybody's cell phone lights on.
Yeah, I'm gonna pitch to the Journey Pro officials, like, man, hey, look, like, we probably should just make that a match type or some shit, just like a thing, like the main event, just like the lights out main event or some shit. I don't know. Everybody, it could be a tradition, like maybe championship matches or some shit. I don't know.
You know what? That is an interesting concept. I mean, you hear places like AEW having the lights out match, but this way having it be a legit lights out match.
Yeah, right. Literally. I was jealous, man. I was like, dude, I would fucking love to wrestle in a legendary like atmosphere like that.
Yeah, no, that was impressive, and everybody was still so into it, even after.
And they worked for like fucking, man, at least 20 minutes, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Which is hard to do, seeing that they didn't have a lot of time, like, to put that match together, honestly. Because me and Jeremy went about 20 minutes, and then he had to go back to the locker room and do business with Christian Rose or whatever. Sorry, I'm breaking kayfabe or whatever the fuck, but yeah.
Fuck it. But
I'm giving kudos, giving shout outs.
Oh yeah. Before I get to this one part I have in my notes here, I had put out, and I think you saw when I put out my email that I set up for the show where people can send in questions, and then a certain wrestler, Don't Die Miles, wanted to know why you're asking why you're ducking me.
I'm ducking him. See, that's fucking cap. And I ain't talking about the cap that he puts on his little water bottles. Don't Die Miles. Don't Die Miles, if you're watching this, bro. Like I told you before on Twitter, and I'll say it again for everybody else to see. The D in Justin D. Xavier does not stand for duck. I'm not ducking you, dog. We've been in the ring together. We didn't have much interaction, but you could get that smoke, dog. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love Don't Die Miles. He's fucking talented as shit. So we can do it, man.
Yep. I am actually going to be interviewing him here a week from Friday, shortly after I fly into St. Louis.
Relay my message.
I will be sure to do that. All right. One of my next questions was who were some of your favorite opponents? And, in turn, some of the favorite matches that you've had so far.
That's a tough one. Favorite matches. I always struggle with that one. I think one of my favorite matches was probably against Davey Richards because I just had to trust him. Like, we didn't really talk about a whole lot in the beginning, the front end or whatever. And I just had to go out and kind of trust him. It's like, fuck, it's Davey Richards. Why would our match be bad? Right.
Yeah.
So I trusted him, and it turned out fantastic. Like, that match has a lot of views on YouTube as we speak. I think like maybe 2K or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has quite a bit of views. And like, I got a lot of respect and kudos for that match. So that's definitely a favorite of mine. I'm trying to think what else might be a favorite. Some of my favorite opponents. One of my favorite opponents resides in Minnesota. His name is Riley Jackson. Me and him always like have good chemistry. We've had a lot of quote unquote big matches and stuff for like First Wrestling up in Minnesota.
Okay.
Another favorite opponent might be like Brandon Gore. We always have pretty good chemistry. He's another Minnesota guy. I'm trying to think who else are some of my favorite opponents. Dante Martin. We always have really good matches. Yeah, probably one of my favorite matches too is probably on AEW. Just because like it's AEW and we got to do that. Like we were doing it fucking in Minnesota, sometimes in front of like 20 fucking people, and like we got to do it on a national televised company. You know what I mean? Like it went to YouTube, but you get what I'm saying. Like
that's
really fucking cool. So yeah, that's awesome.
That's great. Like I think I actually did end up catching that one on YouTube. So
gotcha.
Definitely great match. Loved it.
Thank you.
One of the things I like to kind of gauge with people I have on is your thoughts on like the current crop of wrestling out there, because I actually just talked about this with somebody last night that like it might not be as popular as it was back like Attitude Era when it seemed like everybody and their dog watched wrestling, but it's pretty popular now, and it's probably about as healthy as it's ever been with the sheer amount of choices out there. What would you say your opinions on that?
So is it healthy? I don't know. So here's the thing. I liken it to food. You have a lot of options out there, right? You got fast food, you got vegetables, you got fruits, you got shitty foods, you got ice cream, you got desserts, donuts. I love donuts. I love dessert, right? Yeah. So you have a lot of options, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily healthy. Not saying that the options like aren't healthy, but saying that overall, like wrestling, because wrestling can be very fucking toxic at times. It's a roller coaster. It's emotional, spiritual. Like it's a roller coaster for sure. At times, like it can beat you to your knees. To quote Rocky. But there are good things that come from it. You know what I mean? There are highs. The highs are really fucking high, and the lows, they suck. So that's what I would say about that. But yeah, I do agree with the options. It's fantastic to have options. You know what I mean? You have people that can go to WWE. You got people that can go to AEW. Is awesome. That from that standpoint is awesome. Competition never hurts nobody. So. Oh yeah.
Oh, totally agree. And the way that I was kind of thinking, the wrestling can be toxic. I've unfortunately been victim of it more than once, but as far as my interactions with a lot of people before I started the show and even now, largely positive. So it's like in my mind, at least for me, I'm like, you know what, the negatives are out there, they're always going to be there, but for, like I said, me, the positives are outweighing the negatives, so I'm good.
Hell yeah, man. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Seriously, sincerely, because sometimes, it forces people to retire and shit, you know what I mean? So it's good to hear that people are out there having good experiences.
Oh yeah. Like I remember I got the opportunity to be special guest ring announcer at a friend's match. And it was all because it was up in Fargo and I was driving up there by myself.
Gotcha.
And there was some misunderstanding apparently. And I get back to Omaha and I'm overhearing people talking shit about the whole thing, saying I was trying to take people's money. And I'm like, I didn't get paid for that.
Yeah.
I paid for my ticket and I drove myself up there.
Yeah, there's always two sides to one story. That's the thing with wrestling, man. It's fucking, we gossip so much, and I say we because it's not like my shit doesn't stink. We all gossip. We all love to like play the like high school gossip game and shit. Well, yeah, it's always two sides to one story, and that's the problem. I feel as though sometimes we just gotta, instead of running with whatever the fuck it is we heard. Sometimes we gotta, you know, maybe hop on the phone and ask this person, hey, what's up? Or even, you know, talk to them one-on-one in the locker room or wherever the case. Get down to the bottom of it. Hear it from the horse's mouth, basically, is what I'm trying to say, instead of just fucking assuming. Just because you heard something, you know, like, oh, that's the story, that's the truth, you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, you definitely you can definitely solve a lot with that sort of stuff by going up to the person and not necessarily
confronting them.
You don't have to be confrontational about it.
Right,
Just
exactly.
like, hey, I heard this.
Exactly. Is this true? What's your side of the story?
Yep.
It's really that simple. They just fucking hop on the phone. Just hop on the phone. Even if you can't wait till the showtime. So you see them in the locker room or whatever the case, just hop on the fucking phone, because a lot of times people try to play the social media game or whatever the case, you know what I mean? And things can be misinterpreted, you know what I mean? And things can be misinterpreted through text and tone and shit like that. You don't really know until you actually hop on the phone. That's one thing I've learned this year for sure. So,
texting, you don't get that tone. Like when you're even just, you might not be in person with them, but talking to them on the phone, you can get the differences in their tone of voice and everything, and you can kind of tell when they're a little irritated or whatever.
For sure.
All right. First off, first thing here, I got a couple of different categories. First one's a little bit of a speed round. I name off some people, maybe a promotion or two, and you give me your quick thoughts.
Okay. I'll try to be as quick as possible.
No problem. Journey Pro.
Love it.
Next one, you mentioned this promotion too, AEW.
Opportunity, a blessing. Shout out to Tony Khan for allowing, guys like myself that are still on the indies to have a platform to come in and do what we do for him. So,
he's doing great things with that. Next one, a legend, not just the black wrestling community, but wrestling in general, Ron Simmons.
Well, there's only one thing that really comes to mind. I would say that, like I said earlier, I'm Justin D. Xavier, but this time the D stands for damn.
I knew that was coming.
Ron Simmons, he's a fucking legend. You know what I mean? From the APA to I'm about to fuck up my street cred or my points. Did he wrestle for? No.
WCW when he won the title from Vader.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's where you were going.
I was like, I know he won a championship. I was just like, where the fuck was that? Like, he had the yellow tights on and shit. I was like, it wasn't ECW, but like my mind wanted to say ECW is so fucking bad. And I was like, it wasn't ECW. Don't say it. Do not say it. It's like, that's too cool, Scorpio. Don't say it. Do not say it. Shut up. Long with the answer. That's why it needs to be the speed rounds. Quick answers.
All right, next one. Last one. Big E.
Oh man. Get well soon. Big E's awesome, man. He's a pioneer too, dude. Trailblazer. It's really cool to see him win the WWE championship. And I know a lot of people, they weren't super satisfied with his run and stuff because he wasn't, pushed or booked the strongest or whatever the case. But I'm appreciative of it. I can appreciate it. You know what I mean? I haven't forgotten about it. Hopefully it remains that way. Hopefully it remains a thought that isn't forgotten, his reign.
Yeah.
So
no, I'm hoping that too. I'm hoping everything with this most recent injury, I hope it takes a turn for the better, because I know there was that news, where it didn't seem like his neck was healing as optimally as they were wanting. So hopefully it takes a turn for the better.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I don't know. I say this, even if, for whatever reason, everything happens for a reason, God forbid, he's not able to wrestle ever again. He's had one hell of a career. So.
Oh, definitely. And I definitely feel like if it is the end as far as active in-ring competition,
yeah,
he can, there is so much that man can offer.
Oh, hell yeah.
The wrestling that he
put a mic in his hand and get the fuck out the way.
Oh, dude, totally. All right, next category. I got a little bit of a randomizer, random questions. You answer how you see fit.
Okay.
Craziest road story.
Wow, I suck at stories. I do, seriously. Trying to think here. Okay, well, recently, I guess maybe it's not super crazy. It's not overly funny or anything like that. Just like how long it was. Recently, like at the recent Journey Pro show, myself, Trip Jordy, and Darian Bankston, we drove up to Kansas City for 12 hours from Atlanta. Excuse me. We got there, we worked the night one of the tournament, and then the second night of the tournament, and then we had to fly down to Orlando Saturday morning in order to make it in time for AEW Dark. So that was just a very long, rigorous trip. Nothing over the top. Sorry, I didn't make you guys laugh. Just thinking about it, like it was really exhausting just doing that trip. 12 hours there.
No,
catching a flight down to Atlanta. So
no, I can understand how that would be exhausting. I mean, I have a little bit of a funny story involving wrestling from that Fargo trip that I mentioned, where there was actually Warhorse was there. Gotcha. And now she goes by Ruby Soho, was also there. And we were at the after party, and I was pretty fucking hammered. And
is this fully loaded, or what is this? What's this promotion?
Yes, fully loaded.
Got you.
Yep. And like I said, I'm pretty hammered at the time. And they had karaoke at the after party. And I'm like going up and looking at the screen, like, what song is this? Like, I can't. And then before I know it, somebody's putting the microphone in my face, and I'm drunkenly singing the Puddle of Mud song, She Fucking Hates Me. And I'm just like, she fucking hates me.
Obnoxious.
Yeah. All right. Favorite drink, whether alcoholic or not?
Lemonade.
Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with lemonade. I love me some lemonade. I'm also a big Dr. Pepper guy, but lemonade's a good choice. All right. Most expensive thing that you own?
The most expensive thing that I own? My car.
Yeah, that is a pretty good one there. A lot of people, that's the definite one. I know my wife and me, probably either one of our cars or our house.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely a house or car or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Most annoying thing about show days or getting to them?
Getting to them, the long ass drives, man. And then just like the urge to eat food, because typically I try not to eat on a show day, like until after I perform and stuff. But like if it's a long ass drive, then like it's so hard not going into a gas station and grabbing something quick to snack on. It's so fucking hard.
Oh, I can imagine that. Yeah, because I can imagine you don't want to get too filled up before, so that you don't end up projectiling across the ring.
I don't think that would be my issue. It's more so for me. I don't like being bloated. I just care about how I look in the ring. So if I see pictures back and I'm just like, I'm not like,
you're like, ugh.
Yeah, if I'm not seeing abs or whatever the fuck unflattering angle, I'll get down on myself for sure. I have a bit of a body dysmorphia at times. So.
Well, that is really about the last thing I have. But before that, speaking about food, place I'm going to right after this, I want to give them a shout out because I'm going there before the show I'm about to go to.
Gotcha.
The same ice cream shop that sponsors the promotion, I reached out to them for just thinking maybe a simple sponsorship, and then they say they're going to make me a flavor.
Oh shit, that's cool. That's really cool.
And I got told last night it's going to be ready for today, so I'm about to go get it.
Hell yeah, dude! Enjoy that.
So I'm so pumped. If you would have told me growing up that one day I'd have an ice cream flavor, I'd have thought you were full of shit.
Hey, that's goals right there.
Yep, no, definitely. Well, like I said, that's about all I really had. Where can people find you so they can go give you a follow and try to catch a show or some match footage?
So I believe they can find me on Twitter at official JDX, Instagram v.official.jdx, on YouTube. I believe it's the official JDX as well. If it's not, just type in JDX matches or wrestling or versus or whatever the case, JDX versus, like, I should come up hopefully. I think that about does it. And then Pro Wrestling Tees. I have a store up there, so go and buy some merch.
Yep, no, and all those things that you just mentioned, when this gets uploaded to YouTube, I will be sure to have links in the description box.
Hell yeah. Thank you, man.
All right. Well, that's about it. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me, and I know you got some relaxing there you're wanting to do.
Hell yeah.
All right.